Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us this week for our Hangout on Air, focused on increasing your phone calls via the new website call conversions. So I'm joined today with one of our resident experts, Katie.
Hey, everybody. Happy to be here.
Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. So today we're going to cover what website call conversions are, how to set them up, and then the benefits of using them. And so we're just going to jump right into what that is.
Yep.
So as you probably know, call conversions and a call extension are something that's been around for a while. But this is a new feature that goes beyond using a call extension, moving on to a website call conversion. So Katie's going to sort of explain the difference between those two.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So right now, the call conversion tracking that we have available is when somebody sees the phone number in your ad specifically. And you'll be able to see, did they click on that phone number or did they call you from seeing it in that ad? So this next step that we're talking about today actually takes that one step further, and you're able to see the phone calls that are coming from people who are directly on your website. So it kind of gives you a full picture of, did they call you from the ad specifically, or did they go to your website? And we're going to talk about how you can insert a dynamic phone number on your website and see the calls that came from there.
Exactly, yeah. So it's just taking it, like she said, one step further, gauging the activity of that user, of that potential customer, going from your ad to your website and then making a phone call. So an example would be if I'm a user doing a search for somebody's business, I see their ad, I see the phone number there, but I'm not ready to call them yet. I click on the ad, go to their site, browse around, check them out, and then give them a phone call. We now are able to track that too.
Yeah, exactly. And we've seen about 70% of mobile searchers call a business from seeing the phone number in a search ad. So this really kind of makes sense to get the full picture and go that next step of also seeing when somebody calls you directly from your website.
Yeah, that's a really impressive number too. So something everybody should be taking advantage of if getting phone calls is something your business is looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So does it work in the same way with a forwarding number, Katie? Is it just like a call extension normally?
Yep, exactly. It does use a forwarding number, just like we have it set up for showing a forwarding number in your ad. This is going to be a different forwarding number actually, and it will dynamically insert it on your website when the visit came from a click on an ad. So we're able to detect when a user clicks on an ad, goes to your website, and at that point then we will insert a forwarding number so that the number that they call, we can attribute it back to your campaign, a specific ad, a specific keyword even.
Oh yeah, so that's just like other conversions, right? You want to know which keyword or which ad led to that conversion. So using this new call conversion on your website will allow you to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really, really valuable information, especially, as you said, when driving phone calls is where you get a lot of your business. That's an important lead for you. You can then see that specific to a keyword. So you can see which keywords are performing better and then do a correct optimization from that. Adjust bids for the keywords that are performing better and take it even one step further because this also will report as any other conversion does. So you can use this conversion data for a bidding strategy like enhanced cost per click or cost per acquisition bidding.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good point to bring up. So now that we understand what it is and the benefits of it, why don't we jump into an account and actually get through the setup process?
Yeah, sounds good. Alrighty, so what we're going to show you here is how to do the whole process of setting this up. We'll start by going to the Campaigns tab, and then you'll jump over to Ad Extensions. From here, you will open up the call extension that you already have set up, or you could always create a new one if you don't have it yet. So we'll just click on this one and open it up. And we do recommend that you have a Google forwarding number selected here in the option. So you're able to, as we've talked about, get the full picture, see when somebody is calling you from an ad versus calling you from your website.
Yeah, and that's a good place to stop and say, or remind you, excuse me, that in order to use this new feature, it does require you being in a country that allows for our Google forwarding numbers. And so those countries are the US, the UK, France, Germany, Spain, and Australia. So just to let everybody know watching wherever you are in the world, those countries are the ones that are currently allowed or available to use this new feature.
Yep, exactly. Good point. So now that we have this call extension set up, select the Google forwarding number as we said here and just hit save, and we're done with the call extension part of it. So now what we'll do is jump up to the Tools tab and select Conversions, and then we're going to go ahead and create a new conversion. So click on that red conversion button, and you can name this anything that you like. We're going to just go with calls from website. And then make sure that you select the option for your source as calls from a Google forwarding number on your website. And go ahead and hit save and continue. And this is where you can choose different settings for your conversion. So you can set up a conversion value if you like. You don't have to. And then you can also select the time that you want to be counted as a conversion. The default is 60 seconds, so that's, as we've talked about, 60 seconds for the phone call. We would count it as a conversion. You can adjust that, though, if you want it to be shorter or longer. The rest of these settings you can just leave as they are, and then go ahead and hit save and continue. And this is the part where we get into the actual code implementation for this conversion. So at this point, you can either choose to send this information to your webmaster or web developer and have them set it up for you, or if you make changes to the code on your site, go ahead and select that option. This is where we see the two-step process. The first step is that you take this snippet of code and you place it between the head tags on the page that you want to track. So that's kind of the easy part of the implementation. The second step then is you're actually going to implement another snippet function that will dynamically insert the Google forwarding number in place of your own business phone number on your website. So as we've talked about, it will only show a Google forwarding number if the visit came from an ad, and there's a specific conversion window that we use for that. When the visit isn't from an ad, it'll just show your own business phone number. And there are instructions for setting up this portion of the code in our Help Center.
Exactly, yeah. And so this portion is a little bit more technical. We won't go into too much detail, obviously, because this isn't, we're not there with you to go through this process. But you can always give us a call at our phone number, chat into us, send us emails. And also, if you choose that little Learn More section right there above that code, that'll take you right to helpful resources on getting this second piece set up.
Yep, exactly. So now that's really it. Once you implement the code, you can save that conversion, and this is going to report as any other conversion would. So there are a couple of places to see the metrics and the details of this. You can view it obviously in this conversion report here. You can also go into your campaigns tab and view any conversion columns there. You can add those to the reports. And as we've talked about, of course, you can go to the ads tab, the keywords tab, and add in those conversion columns to do an analysis of, you know, where you're performing the best and what's actually driving those phone calls.
Yep, exactly. And then, as Katie mentioned before, using those conversion-based bid strategies like cost per acquisition or enhanced cost per click. Mm-hmm. The last part that you might want to check out in your account for this data surrounding your call conversions, whether it be a call extension or website call conversion, is in the Dimensions tab. So you can jump over there. And then the View column, that will start with View Day, change that to Call Details. So this will actually bring up whether it was a mobile click to call, a manually dialed phone number, or now these new website call conversions will show there as well. So we'll be able to differentiate where and how the phone number, or excuse me, the phone call came in. It'll give you the area code of the caller, the length of the call, and the date and time in which it happened.
Yep.
Awesome. So that's all we have for you today. Thank you so much for joining us, and thanks so much to Katie for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. It was my pleasure.
If you have any questions about this stuff, like I said, you can always give us a call back. But thanks so much for tuning in. Let me just double check to see if there are any questions. Give me just 1 second. Let's see here. Sorry for the delay. I'm not seeing any currently. If you do have a question and we didn't get to it or we overlooked it, we will respond to it on the Q&A section. But thank you again for joining us, and tune in next week at the same time, same place.
Perfect. Thanks,
Take
guys.
care.